Algebra. Sorry I can't be with you today. Hope your day is going well. And this lesson is kind of a continuation of what we've been doing, which is solving equations with variables on both sides. And the very next lesson that we have is solving multi-step equations, which sounds very similar. And it is very similar. So hopefully the skills we've been building up to this point will just make you feel ready for this next step we're taking. We've already done most of the components of what are in today's lesson. We're just kind of putting them all together into solving equations today. So we'll start off with an equation like this: 3 times the quantity of d plus 2 equals 12. And you know order of operations. Order of operations tells us that we have to do parentheses first. But when I have a letter plus a number inside the parentheses, that doesn't really work. I can't add those two together. And so the distributive property is what we use that allows us to get rid of the parentheses. That gets us around the order of operations. So the first thing I need to do is multiply here. 3 times d is 3d. And then I would multiply 3 times the plus 2, so that would be plus 6, and that equals 12. Once I've distributed and gotten rid of the parentheses, then I can start the steps of solving the equation that we're used to doing at this point. This is a 2-step equation now. Once we have done that multiplication and distributed the 3. So now I would just do minus 6, 3d equals 6. And then that last step, of course, is always divide. So d equals 2. And that is all you have to do. Yeah, that's it. Just work our way through some more examples. Very similar to the last one, except this time it's subtraction inside the parentheses. So we always, as always, have to make sure that we pay close attention to those symbols, because we've got to make sure that we keep the pluses and the minuses straight. So this time we would multiply here. 4 times x is 4x. And then 4 times a minus 3 this time, or 4 times negative 3, would be negative 12. Or minus 12. Haven't done anything to that side yet, so it still equals 8. Now I have a 2-step equation. Just solve it. First add 12. And that would be 4x equals 20. So divide by 4. And x equals 5. Just like that. Uh-oh. Now we get into a little more complex equations. We've got distributive property on both sides this time. So you got to take care of the parentheses before I can start to solve it. So 4 times x is 4x. Then I would multiply 4 times plus 5, which would be plus 20. Then over here I would do 3 times 2x, which is 6x. And then 3 times a plus 4 would be a plus 12. Now these are the equations we've been doing for the last couple of days. So first thing I need to do is look at my 2 variable terms. I've got a 4x and a 6x. So I want to subtract the 4x. That's the smaller of the 2 values. Subtract 4x, and that would be 20 equals 2x plus 12. And now I want to leave this x alone. It's where I want it, so I'm going to work with the plus 12 here. I'll subtract 12 from both sides. 20 minus 12 is 8. 8 equals 2x. And then my last step will be divide by 2, divide by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 equals X. Uh-oh, here's a word problem. Jack recycled 3 pounds less. So 3 pounds less would be minus 3 than the amount that Bill recycled. So however much Bill recycled, Jack recycled 3 pounds less. Okay, and we can write that out as a simple little equation. We would say that Jack is whatever Bill was minus 3 pounds. Okay, then we have another sentence, and it says Hannah recycled 3 times the amount that Jack recycled. So Hannah did 3 times however much Jack did, so 3 times J. And then if they recycled a total of 53 pounds, how many pounds did Jack recycle? So this part we can write as a simple equation again. This is going to look scary because there's a bunch of variables in this, a bunch of letters, but it's okay. We can simplify it. So you would have Jack plus Bill plus Hannah equals 53. Okay? Now, we're not doing multivariable equations. We're only doing single variable equations. We're not used to seeing more than one variable in an equation at a time. And so what we need to do is figure out some substitutions I can make. Well, I look here and I see that J equals B minus 3, right? So if I see a J right here, I can replace that J with a B minus 3. So I can do B minus 3. And then I still have this plus B right here. And then I notice that an H is worth 3 J's, right? We know that Hannah did 3 times more than Jack. So H is worth 3 J's. So this one would be a 3J, but what did we say that we could put in for a J? We said we can put a B minus 3 in for J. So we would do this, plus 3 times B minus 3. That equals 53. So this is Jack, B minus 3, because Jack was Bill minus 3. This is Bill. Bill just gets to be by himself. And then Hannah was 3 times Jack, but then I can replace the Jack with Bill minus 3. So 3 times Jack. All right, this looks really scary. Don't panic on me, guys. It's going to be okay. I can talk you through this. So now, all we've got to do is simplify all this, which first thing I always have to do is take care of the parentheses. I have to distribute first. All right, so since these are not affected by the parentheses, I can go ahead and add Bill or B plus B. Those are like terms, so I can do 2B minus 3 plus, I would multiply this, 3B, and then 3 times minus 3 would be minus 9 equals 53. Okay, well 2B plus 3B would be 5B, and then a minus 3 and a minus 9 is minus 12. That equals 53. Now I can add 12. So 5B equals 65. Divide by 5. So B equals 13. So that means Bill, our good old buddy Bill, recycled 13 pounds of stuff. So we know that B equals 3. Now, I can figure out how much Jack did, because Jack is just, whoops, I didn't put a, for some reason I put a 3 there, not a 13. So B equals 13, not 3. And then Jack equals Bill minus 3, so that would be 13 minus 3. And 13 minus 3, of course, is 10. So Jack equals 10 pounds. And then Hannah is 3 times Jack. So H would be 3 times 10. So Hannah is 30. Oh my goodness, that was a scary problem. Guys, don't worry about this one. I wanted to expose you to some problems like this because we do need to get to where we can do these. There's nothing like this on your assignment for today. Okay, so don't panic. It's not the last time we'll see problems like this. It's the first time, and I don't expect you to be a pro at it after you see it one time. So it's going to be okay. Nothing like this on the assignment today. All right, there is stuff like this one on the assignment. We need to be able to do these. So this is what I want you to focus on and really concentrate on, doing problems like this. Okay, so 5a minus 8. Don't forget to distribute first. We've got to do the parentheses before we do anything else. We can't add or subtract anything from either side of the equation until we've done the parentheses. So 4 times a is 4a, and then 4 times minus 3 is minus 12. Now I can start the process of solving it. So I've got a 4a and a 5a. I want to subtract the 4a. 5a minus 4a is 1a, minus 8 equals negative 12. And then all I have left to do is add 8. And this one comes out nice because it's already a 1a. That's what I want it to be. I don't have to divide in my last step. So negative 12 plus 8 is going to be negative 4. So that one's solved nice and easy. All right. Last example. And again, this one looks scary. There might be a couple like this on your assignment today, but just do one thing at a time. That's all you can ever do on a math problem, is do one thing at a time. And I know the order that I need to do things in. The first thing I should always do is take care of parentheses. That's order of operations. Parentheses come first, right? So distribute to get rid of the parentheses. 3 times x is 3x. And then 3 times minus 3 is minus 9. And then I still have this plus 9x. And then a minus 8. And it equals, I need to multiply here, so negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6x. And then a negative 3 times a positive 14, that's a big number. So that would be minus 42, if I'm not mistaken. 12, 3, yep, 42. Okay, minus 42 minus 17. I still have this 17, and since it's outside of the parentheses, it doesn't get multiplied. Okay, so I've done my first step, which was distribute. I took care of all the parentheses. I don't have any parentheses left. Now I need to combine like terms. So on the left side of the parentheses, I've got a 3x and a plus 9x. 3x plus 9x is 12x. And then I've got a minus 9 and a minus 18. So that would be minus 17. And on the right side of the parentheses, I've got a 6x, and then I've got a minus 42 and a minus 17. Those two are like terms. So that would be minus 59. All right, now I should do this. Look at my variable terms, 12x and a 6x. So I need to subtract 6x. 12 minus 6 is 6. So 6x minus 17 equals negative 59. Now add 17 to both sides. And 6x equals negative 42. And my last step is to divide by 6. So x equals negative 7. Okay, so we did, it's been a week or two maybe since we looked at distributive properties, so hopefully this looks familiar. We practiced this back when we were doing the colors and combining like terms and stuff like that. And then we went back and just spent more than a week just solving equations. That's all we've been doing the last week or so. So now we've got to pick back up with the distributive property. So hopefully you remember how that works, and you can work your way through the problems. Here's a quick little reminder of how the steps to take. First thing you always do on any of the problems that we're going to be looking at right now, first step is always distribute. And that's this step where we multiply through the parentheses. We've got to take care of the parentheses first. Always do that first. Then, after we distribute, then we combine like terms that are on the same side of the equal sign. So that's this step where we were combining like terms because they're on the same side of the equal sign. I'm only combining things that are on the same side. So I can combine these two terms because they're on the same side. I combined these terms and then the x terms that were on the same side. So that's the second thing. And then once I've done those two steps, then I should be down to where I have that just kind of a three-step equation. Then you work through the variables first, then you work through the numbers, and then you divide for that last step. Okay? And this is where it should feel most familiar. This is what we've been working on for the last week or more anyway. All right. Guys, I know that when I'm gone and you have a video lesson, it's not the easiest thing in the world. You don't get asked questions and those kind of things. Do the best you can on the assignment, and I will work through questions with you tomorrow, and we'll do some more review on this. We're going to park it here for a little while, so don't panic if you're feeling confused. It'll be okay, I promise. All right, do the best you can. Don't give the sub a hard time. Thanks, guys.